G'day gang. Well, I got the cylinder head back for that Holden engine. This is a high compression cylinder head. A low compression would have a closed chamber. A low compression would have this opened up more in here. So we've had it decked, had it machined, surfaced. They've cut the seats, faced the valves, and tipped the valves. New plugs in the wash plugs in the head. New valve seals. We couldn't find anything wrong with it, so pretty much just a clean up. Look, there's the H for the high compression. See, there we go. Anyways, I'm going to bolt some bits and pieces onto the head. I'm going to put some paint on it before I install it onto the engine, and that's starting to take shape very nicely. So away we go. The valve stem seals on these engines aren't like a lot of other engines. They use like an umbrella seal, runs on the valve stem. They use these little things, these little O-rings, these square-shouldered rings. And what would happen is you would compress the spring down, slide one of these on, then slide your keeper on, your cap on. Slide the valve stem seal down, and then whack your collets in on top of these, and that's how they're done. Oh, and I never like to paint where the hoses are going to go. Use an old piece of radiator hose, some old heater hose, whatever. Main reason is because it makes it awfully hard to get the hose off. And that's the paint. PHT engine enamel. It's a Holden orange red, see? SP119, that's the part number. And she's alright. She's good stuff. So while all that's drying, we use a bit of time to buff up the 45-year-old head bolts. And I'll just run a tap down through the head bolt holes, making sure they're all nice and clear. I've done that once already, but I'll do it again just for the fun of it. And then we're just about ready to whack the head on once that stuff's dry over there. So while that's been drying, it's just about dry now. All the threads are cleaned out. These are going into the waterways, all bar these two up the front here on this engine. So we need to seal the head studs, head bolts. We use a sealer, and that's the stuff right there. You can probably see it, tells you there. That's what Holden used. I guess, I don't know, Chevy probably did too. And another thing I do is, and I only do it around the waterways, just around the waterways. I don't put it everywhere, because there's a big debate on, should you put anything on a head gasket. Lots of people use copper coat, silver paint, and all sorts of things. Well, I use that, and I only put it around the waterway. And you're probably wondering why that is. Well, I'm glad you asked. Now, back in the day, with the introduction of ethylene glycol coolants, let's pop that dippy back in the hole. With the introduction of ethylene glycol coolants, these head gaskets went on. Wait a minute, let me give myself, wait a minute. Okay, so where was I? With the introduction of ethylene glycol coolants, Now, if you have a look at this particular gasket, you'll see it has got like a little sealing stuff around there, and it's got a tacky coating on it. But what we were finding is the coolant would leach in between the composites of the gasket, and eventually you would end up with coolant weeping out of here. Not a lot, not like a blown gasket, but it would weep out. And of course, you try and tell a customer that when he comes to get his head or his engine, and it's got, you know, a little while later there's a little bit of schmutz leaking out the, you know what I mean, or out here between the cylinder head and the block. They go, "Oh, you've got a blown head gasket, mate." No, it's what it was the coolant, the ethylene glycol, leaching through the gasket and coming out. So all I do is I just put some around on the gasket, or on the block. I'll put it actually. I'll sit the gasket on, then I'll just put some around there. Not a lot, just a little bit. Of the Permatex. This is Permatex 3 or 3J as they call it, and it stays soft. And not had any issues after that. So anyway, I'll get on with that and I'll plonk the head on. Then all I've got to do is just dust around where the head bolts are. And it's just about ready to put it back in. We'll stab the dizzy in it, of course. I'm already set up on our static timing, which is 6 degrees on this particular engine. So yeah, we'll get away with that, and that's what I'm talking about. Just a little bit around there. We can sit the gasket back on. Now I'll just put some around there. We'll plonk the head on, bolt it down, push rods in, rockers on. Happy days. So the head's bolted down. About 80 pounds, foot-pounds, somewhere around there. 80 pounds is where I like to put them anyways. 75 to 80, give or take. We're going to put the push rods in. You want to check if they're straight. You always see a lot of people wonder, "Oh, I need a nice straight surface to roll them on." Well, you don't. All you got to do is get 2 push rods. And it doesn't even matter if they're bent. Roll it on down. She's good. She's good. She's good. And repeat. So again, assembly loop, push rod tip, pop him in the hole. We've still got plenty of lube down in there because we soaked those lifters, remember? So there's like a little cup of oil down in there already, but you can never have too much. Never have too much lubrication, especially on that on those critical few first turns over. We want everything nice and wet with slippery stuff, and again all over the top. Anything that's going to have some friction, where you put slippery shit on it, including our rockers. We're going to whack some in here, we'll whack some on there, even though there's some already. We can't have too much, in my opinion. So we're going to lube them all up and bolt them all down. Here's another thing you can look for too. Now we've got nothing, we've just, the rocker is just sitting on there. You want to make sure you've got clearance in there, the top dead center. Now, when I screw this down, this is a fairly coarse thread. It's a Whitworth thread, or yeah, we call it Whitworth. That's probably about one and a bit turns from where the bolt actually touches the bridge to where the bridge touches the head. That's probably going to be about 1.5 turns, which on most hydraulic engines is about where you want to set your preload. So I'm going to bolt all that down. Let's just check that, eh? So I've just wound that in by finger. So where the bolt's just touching the bridge. Let's see how far she goes around. Ready? We're starting with us in that direction right there. There's a half. That's her. That was about 3/4. So half to 3/4. Should be fine. There's another little thing I could probably mention. Let me get a bridge here. There we go. If you have a look, you see there's a little arrow there. You can see it right there. Yeah, on there too. That has to point towards the valve. Okay. And that's about as close to like new as I can make it. Now we'll dress it up, eh? I was about to install the carburetor on the manifold. And you see there the mixture screw, the air idle mixture screw. I thought to myself, you know, those little nylons that screw sits in, you just don't get them. And then I had a bit of a rush of memory to back in the day, and I remembered in my toolbox I had the replacement. So you pull the nylon out of there, pull the screw out, pull the nylon out, punch this in, and you have a mixture screw. Now while I was looking for that, I found this. You might not know what that is. I'll show you. So when I worked for Holden, these things were new. What you would do with it is this is the tuning knob. You would take the tuning knob off and you would slide this over the spindle and fine tune in AM radio channel. Proper Holden tool, that one. Wow. So that's the needle, look at it, tiny little thing. It's just so people wouldn't mess around with it. We're going to stick that one in instead. And there we go. Easy peasy. Back him out 1.5 turns or something like that. Somewhere around there. Good enough to start. And that's about as close to good as new, or like new, as I can make it. Looks pretty. Looks pretty. The next time we come back with this car, or this engine, we'll be pumping it in the hole. Have ourselves a goodie. Check you later.